President Bongbong Marcos has retained Migrant Worker Secretary Hans Leo Cacdac in his cabinet. And for that, we have him on the show today on Morning Matters. Let's get his thoughts on the matter. We have Secretary Hans Cacdac. Magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Morning, Ms. Gretchen, and to your televiewers, good morning.
Okay, Secretary, unang-una, paano niyo po nalaman na kayo po ay retained at naiparating ba ng Pangulo ng personal ang mensahe sa inyo?
Well, similar to what Sec Vince Dizon had reported to the Commissioner Appointments the other day, I also received a call from Executive Secretary Bersamin, and of course had a chance to be in an activity with the President the other day, and last night as well with the Singaporean Prime Minister and a few other cabinet members.
Secretary, we had Secretary Laguesma here yesterday, and he said ang isa sa mga sinabi ng Pangulo ay dapat business not as usual.
Yes.
What was the mandate for you
Yes.
for the DMW?
Yes. Similar directive to business as usual, not business as usual, to heighten our ground work, our ground operations, in a sense that we should always be present for our OFWs and OFW families, to make our presence felt, to provide more assistance. We have an action fund to make sure that our action fund is well utilized and could afford the necessary protection to our OFWs, and to be there during their utmost hour of need, our OFWs utmost hour of need. And then of course the provision of assistance as well to their families. Yun parating ine-emphasize ni Presidente. Huwag kakalimutan ng OFW families, especially the OFW children.
Mm-hmm. Well, it has been 3 years under the Marcos administration, about several years of that under Secretary Ople, and then your term. What have been the achievements of the DMW so far that you would bring to the President?
Yeah, first and foremost, it would be setting up the department itself, diba? The President, before the Department on Economic Planning would always refer to us as the youngest department in the bureaucracy, and it's during his term that Sec Toots and myself have the responsibility to set it up, and indeed we put up the personnel. Over 1,000 already have taken their respective oaths to join us at the DMW. More than half of them, or at least just about half of them, are newly appointed, meaning they were not carried over from the POEA or the DOLE. And then of course we've been setting up our regional offices all over the country. That's the administrative side. Of course, there's also the OFW hospital, by the way, where we have regularized around 200 doctors and nurses working in our OFW hospital. And then, of course, we've been administering the Action Fund, the 2.2 billion peso Action Fund annually that provides legal, financial assistance to our dear OFWs. And indeed, around 135,000 OFWs have already benefited from this Action Fund, legal, medical, financial assistance to OFWs. We've also provided emergency responses. We had crisis responders in at least 2 of the biggest global armed conflicts in recent memory. So we have the civil war in Sudan, and of course the conflict between Hamas and Hezbollah and the Israeli Defense Forces in the Middle East. And the matter on the Red Sea, the attacks of the Houthis in ships carrying seafarers in the Red Sea. So we've been able to at least repatriate 3,000 OFWs from Israel, from Lebanon, from Gaza, and from the West Bank as emergency crisis responders ang MW at OWA doon. And then, of course, for the convenience of OFWs, the President visited that which he announced in his SONA last year, the OFW lounges, which had served at least 1.2 million OFW passengers already, provided comfort to OFW passengers, the NAIA OFW lounges in NAIA Terminals 1 and 3. And then, of course, the matter on the one-stop shop that was put up in our Makati office, which was also granted to us by the national government. So we're thankful to the President and the First Lady. And then, of course, the Cancer Care Center the president that was groundbroken by the President last year, and we hope to accomplish during his term. There are many other things that have been accomplished alongside, of course, our reintegration program. Together with the OWA, the reintegration programs have benefited around 60,000 OFWs, the joint reintegration programs between the DMW and the OWA. So that in a nutshell is what we've done. Of course, there are many more, especially with our overseas posts around the world. We opened 3 new overseas posts, so we have around 42 now. And counting, we'll open 6 more this year. I forgot. One more,
Yes,
our
go ahead,
bilateral
go ahead.
agreements. So we have had around 25 bilateral agreements, arrangements, and discussions, and they're all moving forward, especially in Western and Eastern Europe and in the Middle East. We've maintained our strong ties with countries hosting OFWs there. I'm sorry.
On the other hand, we have Filipinos also getting deported back home, particularly, of course, in the United States, where they have started sending back Filipinos. Do we have an update on the number of Filipinos deported? At kamusta naman po kasi si DFA Ambassador Babes Romualdez said that he was advising Filipinos to lie low to fix their legal documents. So, kamusta naman po tayo doon?
Well, as far as I know, well, of course, we're monitoring the situation, and you're right. Ambassador Pedro Romualdez takes the lead here as our head of post in DC. Thus far, we have not seen any such mass deportation of Filipinos, but we always stand ready. There are occasional cases of Filipinos sent home, deported, but not en masse. Definitely, and we know for sure that Ambassador Romualdez is working closely with his American counterparts to protect our workers in the United States, as well as prepare ourselves adequately in the event that there will be such deportations.
Okay, but are we encouraging Filipinos to head to the United States? I mean, how is that going?
Well, of course, it's always been a Filipino's constitutional right to travel, to leave our shores, and of course, through proper legal channels, and so it pretty much stays that way every day. OFWs, of course, are always coming home and leaving our country. The cycle of being an OFW is such. So yes, it's pretty much every Filipino's constitutional right to travel.
Pero meron din pong nag-surface na issue brought up also by Ambassador Babes Romualdez, saying that some alleged illegal immigrants were brought to a third country like El Salvador imbis na ibalik sa Pilipinas. Would you know of that?
Yes, I heard that too from the ambassador. Of course, we take the signals from our good ambassador in Washington. So yes, we also support his call on the matter, the straight deportation, if you will, of Filipinos from the United States to the Philippines. But again, we this is all in the context of if indeed there will be such deportations.
In the midst of the immigration policies of the new Trump administration, what is the directive for the DMW on that? I mean, is it to help reintegrate the Filipinos
Yes.
back home? Ano po yung direction po ng administrasyon?
Yes, that's pretty much clear, and you're right. It's preparing our OFWs for reintegration. So we stand ready. We've always stood ready. We've been battle tested, so to speak, as I mentioned in our emergency response situations. So our role is to receive, assist in repatriation, and receive our dear OFWs as they come home. Those who are coming home for good, and we have the necessary reintegration programs in place, financial assistance, as I mentioned, in place, unprecedented during the time of President Marcos. The financial assistance levels for OFWs who have lost their jobs and need to come home. So we stand ready with that, and we're partnered as well. It's a whole of government approach with other agencies such as the Department of Health, and then for livelihood accessibility, there is our partnership with DTI and the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Tourism, among examples. And the TESDA, of course, we're also partnered with the DG Kiko Benitez and TESDA for those who would want to undertake certain skills trainings or upgrade their skills. So we stand ready to mainstream, once again, our dear OFWs, if and when they return home due to, for instance, deportations.
There is a proposal from Senator Tulfo to reinstate the ban on OFW deployment to Kuwait. Is that something that the DMW is looking at, or have things improved when it comes to the treatment of Filipino workers?
Yes, we've been working closely with the government of Kuwait in terms of undertaking reforms and measures to further protect our OFWs. So we've heightened our monitoring, which is one of the main points of the good senator during our hearing early this year, and we're due to set up. We have an electronic monitoring system for our domestic workers. We've also been conducting pre-flight briefings aside from the pre-departure orientation seminar. They literally come to our office here, the DMW, to conduct a pre-flight briefing to remind them of their rights and responsibilities and contact info in case they have problems and concerns when they get there. And we monitor them. We monitor their plight and their situation. And we're due to develop, we're due to launch a monitoring center, a bigger and better monitoring center for our OFWs, especially those in Kuwait. So we've undertaken these reforms, and there are a few other steps that we will take. In due time, there will be a proper announcement for this.
When you say electronic monitoring, there is an app or a website they can report to?
We have their private recruitment agencies who report to us on a weekly basis about their plight, and if there's something that happens, for instance, an issue that is raised by our worker. So these reports come in, and we monitor these reports and act accordingly. But as I said, of course, there is also our helpline. We have a helpline that is shared by OWA with the DMW, the 1348 helpline. But as I said, we will take this a step further, and each time there will be an announcement on this new monitoring center that we will undertake.
Right. Secretary, the DMW has also brought up the alleged 1.4 billion peso anomalous land deal by OWA's Arnel Ignacio. And he has actually responded to the allegation. Sinabi po niya, ito po, ang deal na ito ay present pa dun po sa technical working group na binuo nyo rin po ni Chairman Secretary Hans Cacdac na kaibigan ko, walang nakitang iniliban na hakbang. What would you respond to that?
My response to that is that technical working group was formed after the deed of absolute sale was signed. Tapos na po. At inilihim, isinikreto itong land deal na ito. Ang OWA kasi is an attached agency. No? It's autonomous to the DMW. That's according to the DMW law. Hiwalay po ang OWA sa DMW, although attached sila for program and policy coordination purposes. And I chair the OWA Board of Trustees. And it is the OWA Board of Trustees that is the highest policy making and checks and balances authority. Now, an OWA administrator does two things: welfare and pangangalaga ng pondo. In this case, pangangalaga ng pondo mula sa Kaban ng Bayan sa GAA. At hindi po dumaan sa board ang napakaraming bagay at meron sariling administration and finance management kasi ang OWA, so independent from the DMW. So lingid sa aking kaalaman, sa aming kaalaman sa board, pumasok siya sa deal with the realty company for a project na hindi rin niya pina-approve. Yung tinatawag na halfway house project sa board. And required yan under the OWA Act, the OWA Charter, which he is supposed to implement para dumaan dun sa board. And then, yung pag-convert ng fund, kasi repatriation fund yun eh, ginamit yung pambili ng lupa, yun dapat ay pumasa din dumaan din sa board. While checks and balances nga eh, papayuhan siya, gagabayan siya, at kung okay ay approve. Pero hindi dumaan doon sa proseso na yun. Of course, yung bentahan, and then yung taxes, sabi doon sa deed of sale, ay sagot ng seller, and then after nagpirmahan, nagbagong isip, nagpirmahan ng panibago at nag-release ng 36 million doon sa attorney in fact ng seller, exempted ang OWA sa taxes under the OWA law. And then doon sa deed of sale, silent doon walang sinasabi tungkol sa kung meron bang umuupa doon. In other words, sinasabi doon sa deed of sale, walang umuupa doon sa lupa. Meron pala. Na-discover meron palang fast food doon at saka cell site tower na pinauupa. And again, wala na namang pagpapaalam sa board yon. At yung nangongolekta ng upa after the sale is the attorney in fact. Siya pa rin ng seller. So nagtataka kami. And then lastly, merong 52 condominium units na kasama dun sa absolute deed of sale na sinasabing walang umuupa. Ngayon, dinemolish na yun. Nung pinuntahan namin, wala na yung condominium units na yun. Inilipat yung titulo sa Republic of the Philippines. So nasaan na yun? Nasaan na yung mga condominium units na yun? So, maraming red flags. Yung OWA is independent of us. Yung administrator should have the necessary probity and integrity and the fiduciary financial responsibility na alagaan yung pera, yung kaban ng bayan, yung OWA Trust Fund, at mukhang hindi po yan nangyari sa sitwasyon na ito. Kaya kami ay in due time magsasampa ng kaso sa appropriate government agency.
Secretary, pwede po malaman saan po itong land deal? Itong halfway home?
Sabi niya ibibili niya for a halfway house. Itatayo niya yung halfway house o ano man. Pero yun, may comment na ako kagad doon kasi ang sabi niya, kasi bunso dito nung 1.5 million na OFWs na umuwi from the pandemic. Sabi ko, kung dumaan sa board yan, I would have commented na kung 1.5 million OFWs ang accommodate niyang halfway house na yan, hindi yan kaya ng gobyerno patakbuhin. Private sector yan ang dapat magpatakbo dyan. Pangalawa, kung halfway house talaga ang intention, bakit dinemolish yung 52 condominium units na may 52 condominium titles na inilipat na sa name ng Republic of the Philippines? So, again, these things are major red flags, and I needed to blow the whistle here as chairman of the OWA board.
And we will get down to the bottom of that investigation. In the meantime, maraming salamat. It is not business as usual for Migrant Worker Secretary Hans Leo Cacdac as he keeps his cabinet position in the DMW. Maraming salamat po for your time today.
Salamat, ma'am. God bless.